Hello, my name is Ethan, and welcome back to another episode of Path of Exile Metamorph League. In this episode, I'm going to be talking about technically League Start gem link priority. I didn't put the League Start part in this, but this also follows through mostly throughout the league, except for maybe some slight changes with Empower 4s, etc. So let's get into gem link priority. We'll start off with the first one that people will want to know the most, because zombies. So for zombies, I slotted Raise Zombie. Oh, and this is in order of importance. So I think that Feeding Frenzy is the most important Raise Zombie gem you can possibly put. This is with no items or jewels, and this is using the skill tree from my last video, which is the League Start 0 jewel skill tree. And so I chose a very budget gem selection too, no Empower, no Awaken gems, and so we went Feeding Frenzy as the most important gem next to zombies, and then Multi-Strike is the third most important, and now the last three are pure damage. Minion damage, melee, physical damage, Ruthless. Those are just damage supports. You technically can go Brutality if you don't run Spirit Offering. But if you run Spirit Offering, then Brutality makes you deal no chaos, and it goes against your own Spirit Offering. So yeah, 35k, 9 zombies, and also they have 20k life. So obviously, compared to fully scaled up zombies, they're nothing even close. But it's an interesting starting spot, okay? Here we see the 61k goddamn DPS skellies, and that's not even including the Vaal summon. Okay, dude. So yeah, that's 619k DPS right there. Okay, so Vaal summon skeletons, and then Feeding Frenzy I still think is the most important, especially when they buffed skeletons in Blight League. They gave them 50% more damage, and they also made it so that Feeding Frenzy would allow your skeletons to dash. Your zombies can dash over walls and towards enemies, and it gave them basically pseudo move speed, because instead of move speed, you just have them dashing all over the place. And so not only were skeletons the most damaged, they were also just one of the best clears. It's insane. So then you had Feeding Frenzy because it's OP. Melee Splash because your summon skeletons do not... Well, okay, so the way skeletons actually attack is a small little strike in front of them. Imagine like a sword, you strike in front of you. It's not going to be like a stab, right? This is a strike. It's a slight angle, and you'll cover a little bit of area. So what happens is when you melee splash, then you hit a big area, and then it strikes on all the people, all the monsters that it hits. So it stacks multiple strikes on that pile if there's a lot of monsters in a pile. And so it's really weird. It's like compounding damage if there's more monsters stacked on top of each other. The other thing, it cones, and yeah. Then minion damage, melee, fizz, and multi-strike just as the best damage options. You could also run Ruthless, you can run Brutality again, you could run potentially Maim, but again, the most important first three, and then the rest are just optional basically based on how much damage you want. And so this is how it's helpful for a league start, so that people can, if they have a 5 link, cut the multi-strike, for example. If they have a 4 link, cut the multi-strike and the melee fizz. Okay. Summon Raging Spirit. So you can have 20 of these bad boys, and we can see that they do 21k DPS. I put Feeding Frenzy on them once again. It's literally like my favorite gem to put with my minions, because changing them to be aggressive. Melee Splash so that they have the same as the skellies, they clear. Zombies already have an AoE attack and AoE Slime, you don't need Melee Splash. And then minion damage, multi-strike, melee fizz. That's just what it went by in the POB, and you can get 400k DPS if you summon all of them, and I think it was 2.78, just based on the skill tree, 2.78 casts per second. So just under 10 seconds to spawn them all. Herald of Agony, this one was interesting because you can't just spawn it with the stuff that I'm showing here. You'll have to have items and stuff and have a whole build designed around this. So this is a little bit misleading. Also, I might add that the Virulence stacks are at 40, and this is only a 5 link, but the nice things to learn about here is damage on full life works with your Herald of Agony because it's immune. You can technically maybe utilize this if we have that new build where you use the jewel that makes it so your minions don't take any damage when they've recently spawned. Damage on full life would work, okay? And then Vicious Proj is absolutely disgusting. And Pierce makes it so you have actual clear speed with your Herald of Agony, and then extra minion damage if you want it. Wasn't necessary. 6 link. Also, when you add more stuff to this, it increases the aura mana cost, like how much it's gonna reserve. And so you will actually normally only go for a 4 link and put it in like a helmet or something. Okay, this gets a bit interesting. I even included some Spectres and their specific things. And so I started with Solar Guards. Shoots fireballs, 63k DPS, 3 of them, but you'd have a 4th because you would probably get the gem a higher level. You would try to get the gem to be level 25 so that you would get the 4th Spectre. You get 1 from Death Attunement and then 3 from the gem at 25. So that's huge. So whatever, 63k. Feeding Frenzy. OP. Greater multiple projectiles so that it shoots 5. Minion damage for damage, concentrated effect for damage, and spell echo for double. Boom boom. You know? You don't need the spell echo. You could actually switch that to another damage. It's hilarious. Okay. Slave drivers. They have insane damage with this setup because you don't need GMP, and I actually think I messed up, and you don't need Spell Echo in Solar Guards, and you could have an extra 6th gem, but yeah, don't use Spell Echo on Solar Guards. Okay, so Slave Drivers, Lightning Surge, 175k, 32k life if you go back, 63k life on Solar Guards, so a lot more life, double the life, okay. And yeah, so way more damage though, because you don't have to run GMP, then you can run all this damage stuff, just pure damage basically. Feeding Frenzy, Spell Echo, God Tier, then there's faster casting, concentrated effect, and minion damage. Slave Drivers, pretty good damage, and they're really fast, and you can see why you use those. Frost Sentinels were something I used before, and man, they just don't do a lot of damage with this setup. So that's like giving them everything I've got, you know? They have quite a lot of life, but dude, they actually do no damage. And I used to run these as my main damage source in 3.6. This really is eye-opening, you know? When you actually look at this, you're like, dude, the build sucked that I was trying to play. Holy shit. Okay. Summon Holy Relic. Dude, this is insane. Look at what you could do to a Holy Relic. Guys, look at it. Summon Holy Relic, Arcane Surge, Spell Echo, Minion Damage, Control Destruction, and only an Empower 3. 94k damage, and it's 36k life. Okay. So, based on this, if you look at the cooldown, you can do this 4 times. That's a lot of damage. You just gotta get Cyclone and then boom, 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 boom. Nova. Big clear speed. It even leeches. I didn't know that. I said in the other video that I don't know how the hell a Holy Relic is gonna survive, but apparently it leeches. So as long as you're making it hit by using a melee skill and hitting and attacking, that's pretty good. And you could also take Resolute Technique so you can't miss with your Cyclone, because I think we have a missing problem currently. This is where the whole thing gets really interesting. So the rest of it was just kind of giving everybody the gem links and explaining why I go them. But this is where we get into the new stuff. So sit back, relax, and enjoy this bit. Okay, man. So Animate Weapon is getting changed in 3.10. So this again has no items or jewels, but the Animate Weapon has a glass shank. I show you the glass shank. That's the picture. The glass shank is 0 damage. It's literally as if I have no weapon almost, but whatever. So for fun, I put together an Animate Weapon link, and So you add Melee Splash and you add Feeding Frenzy, and it does no damage. And then and when you add Decay, you get this Decay DPS, and that's when you actually gain damage. Minion damage and Vicious Prod, whatever, it didn't really matter. But the one thing that I don't like, so here, let me. So yeah, enjoy this teaser. Okay, so now we've watched the anime weapon teaser, and so what we saw is he comes up to the enemies, he blade falls, and then there's knives. He summons animate weapons off of the knives, which means you have infinite knives because of the blade skill, so it's like a desecrate and it's like bodies, corpses, but in this case instead it's knives, and then you have 13... he had 13 of them at one time. That was his maximum, and so that would be a weird number that they would show this early as a teaser, and so I assume you can get way more than 13, so I'm gonna guess so maybe 20, because it's a nice even number. And then dude, what I could tell is they were killing monsters, they were doing good, it looked really fun, and the fact that you could have it seems similar to like other minions. Honestly, it didn't seem that bad, especially because you can just have the knives wherever you want, so you can summon them wherever you want, and then it might be snowbally. I don't know how the new animate weapon will work, but I'm assuming it's gonna have more damage than this, and that we'll actually be able to like scale it and see the right thing that's going on with the new one, assuming that we have 13 instead of 50, because that's a huge difference. Imagine 4 times as much power then. Out of each one, probably, at least. Okay, so they're OP, and I'm excited to play with them. Also, I pulled up the glass shank on this page too, so that you could see it directly next to what the actual knives look like in game. So these animate weapons do turn into fucking animated knives, dude. It's really cool. Look at that. It's actually, like, I got a really good picture. It looks sick, dude. Anyways. So yeah, I'm super excited for this. Like, honestly, this anime weapon's going to be super fun to play with. I wonder if it'll actually be viable, or this is just the start of seeing them make drastic changes to skills, even though you don't see it coming, because they're underused. And honestly, I have pretty high expectations that it'll be really good, and I feel like a lot of people are going to go anime weapon now. This seems insane. So either way, thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for all the support. I hope you guys have enjoyed. If you guys can, support me through Patreon or the YouTube members. Thank you to everybody who does. Appreciate it so much. I couldn't do this without you. The financial support is super appreciative, and especially in these down times of when the league is dead and we're waiting for the new season. Am I right, boys? How many of you are just waiting for the new season? God damn. Anyways, hope you guys have enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!